Hey, what's up, Sir PB? This is a quick demo video for you for your Exar Kun corruption staff from Shadowfoil Props and Phoenix Props. We're going to go over to my desk and do like an overhead view of this guy because there's just way too much going on for me to kind of show it like this. All right, so let's head over to my desk. All right, Sir PB. Every once in a while when I do a demo video, I have to do it at my desk like this because there's just so much going on with the Saber that I'm not really able to show it off, you know, just sitting in front of the camera. Grab a battery real quick. So yeah, like this one, there's a lot going on this guy, okay? It's got a 3-part chassis. There's 2 different chassis. There's a chassis in the emitter here. There's a chassis in the emitter over here. There's a separate chassis in here that holds your battery. So I'm going to show you how to break all this down. All right, so first of all, what we want to do is we can just take off both emitters. All right, we just unscrew them. I will mention the same thing I texted you about this morning, but sometimes it's easier to show you. I ordered 2 longer screws that look just like this, but they're 16 millimeter long. I'm going to use them back here. For right now, I just have a grub screw, and that's my chassis retention, but I'm going to put that longer screw in here so it matches the rest of the Saber, and that is your chassis retention on each side. All right, so that's the one thing I'm waiting for before I send this out to you. And I ordered those this morning on Amazon, not knowing I needed them until this morning, so it'll take a few days. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll unscrew the other side as well. Put this handle off to the side for a second, but we will talk about that later. So on each of these emitters are set up identically, right? Let me get back in frame. So what you want to do is come over here and just loosen up your chassis retention. You can pull your chassis right out. All right. These are 1-button setups, so each side is programmed, or it's ran individually by this one plunger switch right here. You've got a blade side PCB over here that makes contact, you know, with this pin connector right here. And that's the same on both sides. You've got a 22 millimeter, I think it's a 22 millimeter Smugglers Outpost Nano Elite speaker in each side. Now I did go through, talking to Sam this morning, there's tape for the grips that went right over the sound venting. So I peeled each of the sides of these grips up, clean that tape out with my X-Acto knife, and then put the grips back down. It should sound better. All right, but you've got your 1 tactile switch here, your Proffie board. This is a snap fit down in the shelf, so you can pop it up if you like, but you can get to everything from right here and never move the board. And again, this just has my sound font on it. A copy of the config file that I use is on the SD card, although when you go to do something else, I think the one thing I changed on the config that I didn't put on the card is I bumped the clash sensitivity from the 3.2 that it is on your card right now. I brought that up to a 3.9. I don't know that that's necessarily something that you need to do, but I felt more comfortable with that, just being that the speaker is so close to the board. All right, so we got that. It says Solo Sabers over here for me. I did put Shadowfoil Props over here in Arabish, and it says Corruption down here in Arabish as well. And then you've got a Exar Kun Neopixel connector right here on both of them. All right, so that's one chassis. We'll go ahead and take the other one out. It doesn't matter which side you put these chassis on, they're identical. So they can go on either emitter. Let's loosen that just a little bit more. When you pull it out, you want to pull it straight out. You don't want to get to right here, and if you turn it, it's not going to come out. The reason for that is, if you'll notice, I have a channel up towards the front. It runs right across the Proffie board and into the plunger switch right here, and that is because this plunger switch sits inside of the inner diameter just a little bit, so it has to go in, you know, that way. If you do it right, it'll slide past the board. If you don't do it right, you know, it's not going to go any further than that. All right, so that's what both of these chassis look like. Same speaker setup, same blade side PCB. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put these back into the Saber. Just slide this all, whoops, wrong side. Slide this all the way until it stops. It snaps in place. Go ahead and just hold it here. As a visual cue, because you do have just a little bit of play in here, all right? You wanna make sure that this rib of the chassis is lined up with this blade retention screw or this chassis retention screw. So when that's lined up, you can go ahead and tighten it down. All right, so we'll tighten it down. That one's good to go. You can feel, or you can't feel it now, but you will be able to. There is a nice tactile feel there, so we're good to go. All right, go ahead and do that on the other one. Slide that right in. Snaps in place. We got that rib. Line up that rib with the chassis retention screw. We'll lock this down. Got a good tactile feel there too. So now these are ready. All right, we'll put these off to the side and we'll talk about the handle. Now the handle, it can be a little bit cumbersome to get into this. You've got an Allen key that comes with your kit, so I'll make sure it stays in your box. There's just no way around doing it this way. All right, so it doesn't matter what side you take off. You can take off this coupler or you can take off this coupler, but you only have to take off one side. So let's say we're going to take off this side right here. All right, I'm going to get a marker real quick and I'll show you why here in a second. We'll take these screws out. There's 3 screws that hold in the coupler. Just like that, and then one last one. Once you take that 3rd screw out, this whole thing comes out. Now, I've already done this previously when I was testing it, but if you can see inside that screw hole, I took my silver Sharpie and I marked that one screw hole, right? Because when I pull this coupler straight out, it needs to go back in a certain way. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna mark this rib right here, okay? So now this, I know this rib needs to go to this hole. If you don't, and you kind of like, you know, put it in like this, your 2 switches on your Saber may not line up perfectly aligned with each other. It may be off like that or something. So you want to make sure that you get that right. All right, so we'll pull this coupler out. So now that's out. You're gonna have to come over here with your finger. Try not to push on the pins, but push on the side of the chassis and just push it out. It's a little tight, but it'll come out. All right, this is what holds your battery. It doesn't matter what side you put it in, the handle. It doesn't matter how you put it in like this. It just goes in, all right? Again, Solo Sabers over here for me with a Smuggler's Outpost emblem, and then I went and got Sam's logo and I put it on the battery compartment, and it says Corruption right here with the A Shadow Foil Props logo right here, all right? And you've got this 2, 4, 6, 8. You've got an 8-pin connector right here, and you've got another 8-pin connector right here. And of course, that's what makes connection with these blade side PCBs on your emitter, all right? So spring side is your negative here. So we'll take our battery, throw it in. We're good like that. Now, usually what I do is I take this coupler and I just snap it in place like that. You can snap it on this side or you can put it on this side. Either one works, all right? Then we're gonna come over here. We're gonna find that mark we made on the rib. We're gonna find the hole we marked up. We're gonna slide this in. Make sure that you see that mark on the rib is lined up with this hole. We're gonna push it in just like that. It will snap into place. I did make this a pretty tight fit, so everything's pretty tight and snug, but it does go, all right? And we'll go ahead and we'll tighten this down now. And this does not have a kill switch, but I'll show you how to kill the power so you can leave your battery in here for as long as you like, you know, up until the time where you eventually need to charge it, all right? There is a trick to doing that. So we'll put all 3 of these in here. Lock this down. Now this is good to go, all right? So we'll come over here and we'll put one of the emitters on, slide it in, clip it in and then just screw it in. You can hear how you immediately got power to that chassis and you heard your boot up sound, so that's good. Screw this in all the way, lock it down. Now we'll come over here and we'll do the same thing with the other side. All right, so kind of clip it in, twist it. We just made contact there, so that's good. And we'll line it up. So you see, now that we took the time to line up that coupler, you can see our switches, right, runs from all the way down here. It aligns with these two screws, which aligns with the other switch, so we're good to go. So now we can turn it on. Right, and we can turn this side on. So hopefully you can see that on my hands, how both sides are on. They're one button setup, so just tap for blaster bolts. You do have twist off, but not twist on. If you want to play your soundtrack, it's a long press on the power. Whoops, it's a double tap, sorry. Double tap to play your soundtrack, and then another double tap to turn them off. Just like that. All right, so again, this side will fire it up. Trying to get it in focus there. This side will fire it up. Now, for killing the power, you don't have to take the battery out to kill the power. All right, so we'll come over here and we'll turn this on. You see how it's on. Now we'll just come over here and we'll just unscrew it until we don't have a connection. Just like that. Now when I press this, no connection, right? We'll do the same thing over here. This guy's on. We'll keep unscrewing it until we lose that connection. Now both of them don't have a connection. So you can store it on the shelf like this. You'd of course just take your time and line up your screws or your switch holes so they look right, or your plunger switches so they look right on your shelf, right? And then when you want to turn it back on, you simply just screw the emitter back on. Just like that. And we'll turn it off like that. All right. So that is a lot on there. I hope everything made sense to you. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to break this down off of camera because it's just the same thing. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'm just going to hang on to this in your corn horn until those two screws come. I'll put them in your box and I will get this sent off to you. Thanks, man.